It was supposed to be a peaceful Saturday afternoon. Sun shining, kids laughing, the scent of smoked ribs wafting through the air, and the glistening pond behind my house shimmering in the light. My wife Mel had been planning this family barbecue for over a month. We had a dozen folding chairs around the fire pit, a Bluetooth speaker playing mellow jazz, and a smoker full of brisket slow cooking since sunrise. My land stretched across 20 acres, and the pond that had been in my family for generations now served as the centerpiece of family gatherings. We invited neighbors, friends, even the new couple down the road. It was supposed to be simple, chill, fun. That was until Karen showed up, and everything changed. Now, when I say Karen, I don't mean just your average HOA busybody. I mean a full-blown, clipboard-wielding, oversized sunglasses-wearing storm of entitlement. Her real name was Linda Davenport, president of the Rose Hill Ridge HOA, which governed the subdivision that began about 600 feet past my east fence line. Linda had been itching to expand HOA influence beyond its legal boundaries for years. She'd already tried to rope in neighboring lots by offering to enforce rules like trash day regulations and lawn length inspections. We always said no, because we didn't live in her HOA. She didn't take that too well. And while she'd pulled stunts before, like placing flyers in our mailboxes claiming HOA compliance suggestions, today she went nuclear. Just as I was flipping a rack of ribs and laughing with my brother-in-law, I heard the unmistakable crunch of tires over gravel far too close to the pond. I turned, and there it was, Linda's pearl-white Lexus SUV pulling up onto my private land. She slammed the door, stormed out in wedge sandals like she was ready to conquer Rome, and immediately started yelling. "This is an illegal gathering," she screamed, holding her phone up like it was a badge of authority. "You're violating HOA noise ordinances and environmental guidelines with that." She pointed dramatically at the smoker. "That pollution machine." I blinked, thinking it was some twisted joke. "Linda, this isn't Rose Hill Ridge. This is private land, my land." "You're within 800 feet of the HOA boundaries," she snapped, as if she were citing some supreme law of the land. "That makes you subject to proximate influence codes." "Proximate what?" my cousin muttered beside me. She didn't answer. Instead, she whipped out her phone and barked, "I'm calling the sheriff." Within 9 minutes, 2 sheriff's deputies rolled up. They looked confused before they even stepped out. I know both of them, Deputy Hansen and Deputy Cruz. They'd both fished in this pond during the county picnic last summer. "Mr. Maddox," Hansen said with a slight grin, "we got a complaint about unauthorized gathering, open flames, and some HOA violation." Before I could answer, Karen bolted toward them. "Officers, arrest them! They're violating Rose Hill Ridge policies. This is a clear disruption of community serenity and poses an environmental threat." Deputy Cruz calmly held up a hand. "Ma'am, this property isn't under Rose Hill Ridge jurisdiction. It's unincorporated county land. No HOA rules apply here." "You don't understand," she screamed, flustered. "They're causing visual pollution. The smoke, the laughter, it affects property values." "Ma'am," Hansen said with a tone you only hear when someone's patience is running razor thin, "there is no law against barbecuing on private property. And no, laughter isn't a crime." That's when Linda did the unthinkable. She pulled out a printed map, one she had clearly altered, trying to prove that our pond overlapped with HOA water rights. This, of course, was absurd. My family's deed, dating back to 1957, clearly outlined our property lines. The pond wasn't even close to her jurisdiction. But this time, Linda was playing for keeps. She began yelling about eminent domain through community stewardship and claimed she was placing a cease and desist on the barbecue. That was my final straw. I walked over to my shed, pulled out my legal binder, the one my dad put together when he handed me the land, and flipped it open. Inside were land surveys, aerial photographs, and an official notarized statement from the county commissioner affirming that my land was not, under any circumstances, affiliated or subjected to Rose Hill Ridge HOA. I calmly handed it to Deputy Cruz, who read it and whistled. "Well, that clears it up," but I wasn't done. See, what Linda didn't know was that 2 years earlier, she'd made a crucial mistake. She'd installed surveillance poles near the outer fence of my property line, for safety, but a quarter of those poles crossed onto my land. I'd been letting it slide because I figured it wasn't worth the drama. Until now. I told the deputies I wanted to file a formal encroachment complaint and demand the HOA remove any and all structures, cameras, and posts from my property. Immediately. Deputy Hanson radioed it in, and before Linda could even compose herself, they informed her she was in violation of county land use ordinances and potentially facing a civil suit if she didn't comply. Linda turned pale. "You can't sue me," she whispered. "Actually, I can," I said. "You see, I just inherited the last parcel you've been trying to acquire to complete your HOA expansion project. Your dream of a private walking trail, that little sign you planted near the west entrance, and those benches you funded from HOA dues. They're all on my land. And now that you've interfered with a private gathering and falsely called law enforcement, your board is about to get a letter from my lawyer." By now, the entire barbecue crowd had gathered, watching with stunned silence. My cousin took a video of the whole interaction. Karen tried to snatch his phone. That didn't go well for her either. Within 48 hours, the HOA board received a cease and desist letter from my attorney. Not only did they have to dismantle every encroaching structure on my property within 7 days, but they were also served with a civil eviction notice, not from a building, but from using any part of my land as part of their community features. That included the hiking trail, the flower beds, and the Rose Hill Rest Area sign, all removed. The fallout? Epic. Linda was voted out of the HOA board in a chaotic emergency meeting. Parents were furious she'd spent HOA funds building on land the HOA didn't own. A petition circulated demanding an audit. When I posted the deputy body cam footage and my cousin's recording on Facebook, it went viral in our county. Someone even created a meme of her yelling, "Visual pollution," next to a picture of our smiling barbecue crew. The best part? After everything was torn down, I decided to turn that land into something even better. A public access fishing zone for local kids and veterans, with clear signage reading, "This land is not under HOA jurisdiction. Everyone welcome." And as for our pond barbecues, oh, they've only gotten bigger. Every month now, we host what we call the Freedom Smokeout. Families come from all over. Food trucks line the pasture, and musicians perform by the dock. We even had the mayor attend once. Linda, she moved out 6 months later. Word was she couldn't handle being a regular resident anymore. No power, no control, no fences to peer through or lawn heights to scold. And me? I got my peaceful afternoons back. My pond remained HOA free, and my ribs? Still award-winning. Moral of the story? Don't mess with someone's land, especially when the smoke's still rising and the brisket's still hot, because sometimes calling the cops over a barbecue means you lose your entire kingdom.